How's everyone doing tonight? Just going to the first discussion board, and the first question that popped out was, what difference does it make if a historian is a confirmed practicing Christian? Honestly, I don't think it matters at all, because, as Dr. Sam Smith pointed out, all historians have a bias, whether they're doing an investigation on Hitler or the whole state of Israel, even going into the Bible. You're going to have an agenda, you're going to find what you want, and you're going to report it. Whereas, in my point of view, and I'm a practicing Christian, I understand the bias that comes with it, but I'm also honest in what I do. I have the ethics that I'm going to report honesty, and I'm not going to have a personal agenda to go after, and I want to report all the data that I find in an honest and truthful aspect. I had a history teacher in high school. He was a previous historian, and he turned teacher because he loved history and he loved teaching history. And the one thing he taught us is that once you find a topic you love in history, you want to find every single thing about it. Whether it's something you love or something you hate, there's something that's going to be there. And it just drew me to it, and honestly, I love history because of it. And that's one of the aspects of, does it make a difference if you're a practicing Christian and a historian? Does it make a difference? Yes. Because a Christian will go after it honestly, whereas a secularist will have their own personal agenda. They'll probably use scholarly works or authors or editors or whatever, and none of it is going to make any sense because it's all a personal agenda to them, mostly. Christian worldview, and other than what is contained in the Bible, Dr. Smith pointed out 9 principles, and all of them are great, but a few really were key. Whereas the 5th one, he said, the Bible has principles of ethics that relate to people and nations. That's very true. The Bible has ethics. It teaches us how to be cordial, how to be respectful, honest, everything, in how to be an image of God, basically. And to grasp it is of the utmost importance, because if you don't have it, how's anyone going to believe you or respect you in anything that you type or basically publish? And the other one was, a commitment to objectivity and honesty is essential to historical investigation. This is also true because if you're not supportive to objectives or people coming at you like what if scenarios, how are you going to respond? Because say you have a personal agenda, like I keep saying, how are you going to basically hold your ground on what you just reported or just investigated in history to be true if you can't basically take any negative aspects or remarks? Basically, if I got into an argument with somebody on why is God God, I'm going to have a lot of attacks at me, like from like childbirth effects to the Holocaust. How am I going to back that up? Well, I have scripture, I have God, and basically God's God. And as John Calvin once said, Christians should view the world through the lens of scripture. And if we look through scripture and look through the history of scripture, it'll point out that original sin was to blame, and Israel's what's the word I'm looking for? I'm drawing a blank. They didn't follow God's law when it came to planting their crops, and God punished them for it. So that's basically why Israel's ended up in Egypt, but not the Holocaust. Holocaust, I believe, is in Daniel. But anyways, that's all I have for now. Have a good night.